It is told that the quietest places often hide the heaviest truths. Silence spreads where meaning begins to fade. Usually, silence is seen as peaceful, calm, and safe. But in shrines, silence is not peace, it is suppression. It is the moment where the world stops responding. Voices fade, actions lose impact, effects vanish just before they fully happen. And eventually, it feels like reality itself no longer acknowledges your existence. The corruption domain of silence is not about removing sound completely, it's about preventing reaction. Things don't become quiet naturally, they are forced into stillness. A scream cuts off too early, footsteps produce no echo. Essence forces activate, but feel weaker. A weapon lands, but somehow lacks impact. Silence doesn't destroy the world directly, it dampens it, until actions stop mattering. That's what makes this domain dangerous. Most corruption domains attack players. Silence does something worse. It prevents players from affecting the world the way they expect. A region touched by silence feels wrong immediately. Not empty, restrained. You speak, and the sound barely carries. You move, but the environment refuses to answer. In most places the world constantly reacts to us. Echoes, wind, rustling leaves, distant noises. Silence removes these confirmations, and that creates isolation. Because when nothing responds, you slowly stop feeling present yourself. One of the strongest tools of this domain is uncertainty. Players begin questioning.
Did that attack feel right?
Did the enemy hear us?
Did I even make a sound?
Silence creates psychological horror through absence. Not through what is there, but through what should be there and isn't. Mechanically, silence is a control domain. It suppresses systems instead of dealing direct damage. This makes it extremely versatile for encounter design. Talents and maneuvers can weaken or fail entirely. Trigger effects may activate late or not at all. Communication between players becomes difficult. Reactions are especially important. In many TTRPGs, reactions create momentum. Counters, interrupts, support abilities, and defensive responses. Silence attacks that layer of gameplay directly. Suddenly, players must commit to decisions without immediate feedback. Buffs feel weaker, debuffs become unreliable. Sound-based mechanics stop functioning completely. Even escalation changes. Most combat encounters naturally become louder and more chaotic over time. Silence suppresses escalation. Fights feel muted, slow, suffocating. And that creates a very different emotional rhythm at the table. Silence also changes how environments are perceived. Open spaces feel unnaturally soft. Rain produces almost no sound. Thunder feels distant and muted. Even massive rooms have no echo. The world starts feeling disconnected from physics itself. One important detail. In silence, visual information becomes more important than audio information. Players notice movement more than sound. A creature crossing fog becomes terrifying precisely because there's no accompanying noise. The environment never confirms danger, which means players stay tense constantly. Shrines, ruins and structures inside this domain often feel isolated from reality. Rooms swallow actions, corridors absorb presence, places feel detached, as if the world outside can no longer reach them. Monsters from the Silence domain should rarely feel aggressive in a traditional sense. They are oppressive. Monsters move without warning. Attacks happen with little readable feedback. Enemies interfere with communication and coordination. Some monsters may suppress abilities simply by being nearby. Others might erase reactions or delay effects. And because players receive less sensory information, encounters become unpredictable even without increasing raw difficulty. Silence is strongest when players feel disconnected from certainty itself. Silence is one of the purest examples of corruption in Shrines, because it doesn't overpower the world. It reduces it piece by piece, until players realize something terrifying. The greatest danger is not destruction. It is becoming unable to leave an impact at all. And once the world stops responding to you, how do you prove you were ever there? In the next video, we will explore another domain of Shrines, the Elder Domain of Ash. How it works for the marked who are bound to the Ash, and how it transforms mechanics and atmosphere in completely different ways. Leave your mark upon this message and subscribe to Shrines TTRPG. So it was told, Pilgrim. May the next shrine be near.